useless, and I drive her around the bend. But
So it's April 13th here, and this is the progression of the non-covered part of the greenhouse floor. And what we've done here is planted peas and potatoes. So you can see the little pea shoots are coming up quite nicely there, and there's a bit of a fencing set up here, lattice, to help them grow and support them. And then over here I've got potatoes planted. I cut some potatoes in half, chitted them so that they dried and sprouted a bit, and then planted them here. So we're going to have just a small potato patch here, and that'll give us some nice fresh small potatoes during the summertime, and you know, just help supplement our diet that way. And as you can see, the remainder of the row is still growing nicely with the perpetual spinach, a bunch of volunteer mustard plants. These beautiful purple leafed mustards have come up, and they make a delicious salad green as well. And there's a few little heads of lettuce intermixed with things. Okay, well, it's transplanting time. We've got some really nice starts. These tomatoes went in, I think, the second week of March, and as you can see, they're looking really healthy right now. So what we're going to do is put them into the holes that we've prepared here, and get them transplanted and get them started. We'll put a cover over these inside of the hoop house here. Temperatures have been above freezing at night now, so we should be good. And what we're going to do first, we'll pluck off these outer leaves, because these are going to go into the ground. The beauty of tomatoes, of course, is that all along the bottom of the stem here, these will sprout roots, and the roots will take hold once they're in the soil. So we're just going to loosen it up a little bit and free it up from the pot. You can see there's a really nice root structure that has developed there. And then what I'm going to put around here, this is a slug preventative. This is a piece of copper braid, and it comes on a roll like this. You can get this from Lee Valley and other places. You just cut it into shorter sections and then roll it up, and what it gives you is a beautiful little collar that goes around your starts here and keeps the slugs off. The slugs hate copper and they won't climb over it. So this is a really good way of just keeping your plants protected from the slugs once they're initially transplanted here. Okay, so this is ready to go in the ground. Now I'm going to remove the sprinkler here that's been in there for a couple of weeks now, and we've watered it fairly regularly, so we've got deep penetration. This is a piece of PVC pipe. It's a 3-inch piece, and it's got a little elbow on the end, and what I'm going to do is just bore down into the soil so that I'm bringing up, as you can see, a bunch of worms. And this soil is going to go back into a little container here right now, because the container, we're going to use this soil later on to backfill. But meanwhile, we've got a really deep hole here. That's where the transplant's going to go in. So I'm going to keep my little collar up here. I'm going to look for my best orientation for this, and I'm going to stuff the tomato down into the ground as far as it'll go into the bottom of the hole, gently. And then I've got some water here that has some pre-mixed fertilizer in it that's really high in phosphorus. Phosphorus is really good for promoting root growth, so we're going to let that just soak in around the plant, right around the bottom there, backfill here with our soil. This is quite rich stuff here that's come out of the hole, because these are all the sections that I pre-fertilized and mixed earlier, and then they've been in the ground. Okay, so the final result here is we've got our tomato starts in here with the copper ring around it, the watering bubbler back in place, and I've put a spoonful of diatomaceous earth around the base there, so that that'll keep cutworms and other things that like to crawl up there on it. And I just put a little barbecue skewer here just to hold it upright for tonight, and usually by the next day it will have firmed itself up quite nicely. But there you go. That's basically ready for the growing season. The only other thing I'm going to add to it is a stake to tie on our string from the ceiling, because all these tomatoes are going to be trained up vertically, which will take up very little space inside of the greenhouse, and it'll give the fruit lots of good air and sunlight circulation. So there you have it, the transplanting procedure for this whole system. This is going to be all watered automatically now. I've got a timer onto the drip watering system, and I can regulate that. So once it's set up for that, I can change that seasonally as the plants get bigger, and I can also just come in and pluck out the occasional weed, which isn't very much around this base of these plants, because everything else is pretty well covered by this landscape cloth. Okay, so here's the finished row now with everything installed, and you can see the hoops that are here as well. I'm about to put the cover on for the night, and really handy thing is this thing that's hanging down here. That's the sensor for outside thermometer, so you can keep tabs of how cool or warm it is inside of the hoop, the inner hoop here itself. It's surprising, last night, for instance, the temperature got down to, I think, 41 inside of the hoop, and it was 34 outside temperature. So big difference in terms of just the amount of warmth that you get from a simple layer of plastic or two. So yeah, we're gonna just leave these guys to grow now. I'm gonna stake them out once the hoops come off, and start training them up towards the ceiling.
The bank account is empty, there's nothing left to spend. My woman says I'm useless, and I drive her around the bend, but I'm happy